Queen's Comic Podcast. Hey, let's go.
Hey, what's up? This is Billy Bond from the Queen's Comic Party. How are you? And the Queen's Comic Podcast. I'm sorry.
You did that last episode too.
Yeah, sorry, man. These regular jobs are aggravating me. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm exhausted, mentally, physically exhausted, but I'm okay.
Yeah. How was your Brooklyn invasion this Sunday?
It was good. I feel like we had less people through the door, probably because it was like the first weekend where school wasn't happening. So I think a lot of people, and it was also a very nice weekend in New York that didn't have ridiculously oppressive heat. So I feel like a lot of people just like got the fuck out of Dodge, right? People went away for the weekend and stuff. But it was a pretty solid attendance. Like we had a good flow of people throughout the day. If we didn't have any like mobs of people, it was like a steady flow. And
Yeah,
sold books, everybody had a good time.
everybody. Well, I knocked myself out.
Yeah,
That was pretty funny.
yeah.
What a mystical journey that day was. After I did that. Yeah, but a lot of people complain, like the vendors complained as they always do, because they're definitely not vendors that are regular to do this as a living. So the guys who do this for a living were like, oh, it's going to work out throughout the whole day. Don't sweat it.
Right.
But other guys were like bugging out. And then towards the end of the day, they're like, amazing. Great day. Yeah. Great show. Everything.
That's it. Like usually in Brooklyn, from my experience, at least in Brooklyn, the first 2-3 hours of the show at my table, I'm going nuts. There's always people there and it's really busy. And if I'm going to make any money at the show, it's going to be in the first 2 hours. That didn't happen this time. The first 2 hours were weak as far as like making money. There were people there, but I wasn't making much money. But, you know, it was fine. It was fine. But then as the day went on, people started coming in. And it was, like I said, instead of having that 2-hour rush, it's like that rush was spread out throughout the day. And in a way, I almost prefer it because it's calmer. You can have conversations with people. You can trade with other vendors, take some of the pressure off. So I had a good time. I'm glad I went. I mean, it was a rough night for me beforehand. I didn't get much sleep. So as you saw firsthand, I was a little grouchy on Saturday, but I feel like
we all were.
Yeah,
so
we all were. We were.
I kept getting called by one vendor over table prices the night before. And I was like, all right. I was like, don't come no more. And he was like, no. I was just saying. I was like, at 1:30 in the morning, I don't need to be saying when I have to open the doors at 7.
No, nobody needs to call you at 1:30 in the morning about comic books.
Yeah, and mind you, I'm a literal person. Like, you know, like Drax, nothing goes over his head.
Right.
I will give you exactly what you want, no matter what it is at the show. If you tell me you need 3 or 4 tables and we agree upon it, but you change your mind the night before, then it kind of messes me up, but okay.
Right.
So now I've changed some of the rules, and we already, July show is already sold out. It sold out like an hour ago.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just like, I don't care. If you don't come, don't come. And they're like, no. I heard who's going to be there. Like, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Please. I'm like, I can't make it any more easier. But also, I'm going to turn off my phone the night before.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm no longer going to take none. And I'm going to just remind people everybody's replaceable, just like I am.
Yeah.
If they remind me they can do other shows, I can remind you somebody else can fill your spot. And sorry to be like that, but I'm really tired.
You know, a little consideration goes a long way. I mean, I don't think people realize how much work goes into setting this up. I mean, I think I know better than most people. I think I know better than most people, but I mean, it's you. It's you doing it. It's not me. It's you.
Yeah, there's nobody else there no more. Like, none of the guys work with us no more. They just pay for the table and set up. Yep. We no longer wait for a bar. We just have our own everything. And it's a good show. It's just like, you know, like, I didn't expect to get hurt like 1 hour in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, for anybody listening, I was on the catwalk walking around and I ran into a pipe. And luckily I didn't fall off the catwalk. I fell into the netting. And I woke up staring at the ceiling, realizing I was like, oh, I ran into something. And the whole day we thought I had like a concussion, but I was okay.
Yeah, I kept telling you to sit down and drink water because you would like kind of go out to space for a minute here.
I was arguing with people about nothing.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell if that's because you were just like overtired like I was, or if you would hurt yourself. So
no, when I'm overtired, I don't fight with people.
Yeah.
Like I remember I went for a psychological exam years ago, and the night before I was in the hospital because a dumpster collapsed and fell on me, and I had to push it off. So I know when I get tired, I just get mad. What they call malleable. You could just like, whatever you want to talk about, I'm cool, no matter how crazy it is, you know?
Right.
But the funny stuff was all the shit I was buying because I was acting so funny.
You went a little crazy.
Yeah, I probably spent like a few $100, and I don't do that.
You did.
Yeah, did you get
I've
a lot
never
of stuff
seen you
too?
spend that much money at a show before.
Nah, I did a lot of it out of spite. I had to beat everybody to it. But so do you want to start with what you got or what I got?
Yeah, you go first. I went first last time.
All right, cool. So we'll go over the minor stuff, and then we start going into the bigger shit. I got a JSA Alex Ross cover of stars whatever, I forget her name. This is based on Jeff John's sister, so I always thought it was cool. She got Stargirl. She got her own TV show for a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's right. I never watched
Yeah,
it,
I
but
got
it
it.
did exist.
Yeah. I always forget about that stuff. I got that. I got. Sorry, I'm going in like order of like what's cool to like what's at, but I'm starting off with what's at. I collect all these Wizard magazine halves, and it comes with the certificate. This was the Generation X one, so I was happy about that. The Dave Stevens stuff I continued on because I got the Who's Who. I think this is the one with Power Girl. No, this is the one with Dolphin, the pinup. And then I got this one that has, I think this is Power Girl. And I forget what the other one was. That's
No,
I
he
think
didn't
his
do Power
Phantom
Girl.
Lady.
Yeah, Phantom Lady, exactly. He did
Yeah, Phantom Lady, which I love.
Catwoman,
Then I
Dolphin,
hit up
Phantom Lady.
our boy Carl, and I got a bunch of Futurama comics, number 34.
Yep.
Number 5. You know, number 6, and then number 77, which these are all hard to find.
Yeah. Are
And
they
then,
any good?
Huh?
Are they good?
No, not really. It's just I'm a big Simpsons fan
Yeah.
and Futurama, so I just pick up all the stuff that's not traded. Like right now, I have a big problem with Treehouse of Horror because it's becoming omnibuses. You know, so now one more volume comes out, but I have most of the set, but I don't want to give it up. It's only 26 issues.
Right.
But then I continued on with one of our regular vendors, RCD, came out with a Secret Six comic, number 5. Give me one second. I got a lower fan here. And I need these. There's only 6 issues. I'm a big Secret Six fan from what later became Suicide Squad. And it was redone. I'm going to go over everybody. Then I'm going to hit up the big guy that we hit up, like the Golden Age guy. But then I got this sucker, which I was very happy to get, Zatanna.
Yeah, that's a killer book. Great Gray Morrow cover on that, too.
Yeah. I love this cover. I've been wanting this for a while. I got it for a great price, so I was happy about that. And then we started hitting up a really big guy, and I'm just going to work my way up. And this guy showed up with all Golden Age. Oh, wait, I got one more from another vendor. This one I got from Hot Flips, a book I've been looking for a long time, Batman number 199. It's where he's trying to buy his own comic book issues before he dies, and the guy tells him it's sold out. I love this one. Is I think this is definitely a Carmine Infantino cover because of his teeth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bought these books for a long time, so I'm kind of like remembering them. All right. This is what got me started on our Golden Age guy. He pulled out Buckaroo Banzai, and I got it for $10.
Nice. Hold that
And I
thought.
collect
Right hold on 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. All right. These are some issues. Like I got Dingbats from Jack Kirby.
I'm missing out of that first issue special run. I think I'm missing 2.
Is this one of them?
I'd have to look it up. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I have that one. I think it's the Dr. Fate one, and maybe the Creeper one. I'd have to double check.
That's dope. Here's another book. Is this one I was gonna grab for you, but you didn't know if you needed it. Haunted from Charlton.
Yeah, I need to look that up. But yeah, I'm a sucker for
Number 2
stuff.
And then there was one book I got that I gave to you that all you Dave Stevens fans want. It's the first work of Dave Stevens ever.
It is. So
Like,
we'll talk about that now.
Yeah. Just show it off. So because then I go into the bigger stuff, and then we'll go over your stuff.
Yeah. So this is The Collector, issue number 23. It's from 1971, and it has this tiny little spot illustration of Orion from the New Gods. It says Stevens right there. And that is, according to his website, his first published work. He was 15 years old when he did it.
That's awesome.
I had never seen one of these in person before. This book is a bit of a ghost.
Yeah,
And yeah, you grabbed it first. And
I
then
grabbed everything
realized,
first.
uh,
I grabbed everything first.
yeah. And then when you realized I wanted it,
I just handed it to you.
yeah. Oh, well, I basically traded you the Futurama book I got for it.
Yeah, but I was like, I could have got it for cheaper, the Futurama.
Yeah, it was a weird roundabout way of the books.
Yeah, it's all good. You were getting it one way or another, buddy.
Yeah.
It was just I also don't want to pay that much for cartoon books.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's okay. We got a trade. We made everybody happy.
Yep.
That's all that matters. And plus, to be honest with you, like you got everything except that. Why not? Take it.
Right. No, I appreciate the hookup on that.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just glad I saw it first.
Yeah.
And now here's the rest of the firsts. The Weird Tales novel, where it's just reprints of the Weird Tales books.
It's all the
Like
cover
that,
art, right? I flipped through it.
It's
really
all the
cool.
cover art. It's only the
Yeah.
cover art. Best $20 I ever spent.
Yeah. Great artwork in
And
that.
it's moldy as fuck. Yo, like I mean, like holy smokes. Then I got these dirty books. I think this is what kind of got me started. It was these, but it's the whole
Yeah,
set.
those are cool. I think I have the first 3 of those. I like Frank Thorne's Red Sonja work.
Yeah,
And yeah, those are cool.
and then
They're also not easy to find. Most of the stuff that Eros puts out has not been reprinted at all, and I don't expect to see much of it reprinted anytime soon. So I was having a talk with one of the other vendors on Saturday about that, and basically saying, like, if you want this stuff, look, the world's getting more sensitive and more politically correct in a lot of ways. I don't see a lot of this Eros stuff coming back into print anytime soon. So if you want this stuff, like, get it now.
yeah. I was happy. That's what kind of got me started. As I got this, and I bought. I forget what was the other book I bought. I bought a lot of stuff from this guy, but it was so oddball, and I just kept grabbing stuff. Like then I grabbed this one, was like $5. It's the first Rocket Rabbit.
Yeah, that's a cool, and it's also the return of the question too. And I think is it all Ditko art inside? I can't remember.
I think so because he's credited as the creator.
Yeah, I have a copy of that
really
I've had for years, but I don't remember.
Like, look at this spine. You can't beat that.
Yeah, it's in really nice shape.
But then then I grabbed the Golden Age book. I'm not a big Golden Age guy, but
yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, but the other guy the guy I beat for all this stuff grabbed everything else he could.
Yeah.
But I was actually with him yesterday talking about it, so I felt kind of bad, but I was like, at the same time, I was like, whatever. I was in a daze. But then I got a book I've been asking for a while, but I refused to pay a lot for it. And we spoke about it the night before. And I got the first Dark Side for $15.
Yeah, that's a score. That's a real score.
This is a fucking home run, man.
Yeah.
And it's beat up.
Doesn't matter.
It does, yeah. Because I remember this was like $600, but I wanted just to have it.
Right.
You know? And I beat everybody. I beat that guy. I beat a friend of ours to a lot of stuff. But then I beat him to the one thing that I stared at, and I was kind of like in my own world, picturing I was an alien or something like that, because I was in my own world. And I saw this, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I did do this just for the hell of it. And it's just that I grabbed myself a EC comic.
Yeah, a nice one too. Great Alpha
for under $200.
Yeah, you did great on that.
Yeah, and I've never seen one of these. Like, this is insane. This is disturbing looking.
Yeah.
So you see my Garfield lunchbox in the background from the reflection.
I have a reprint of that issue. I don't have the original, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, 1952.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's what they call an Al Feldstein cover and story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a Bill Gaines story. So I finally have an original 50s book. Like, I have a book that's like banned, you know what I mean? That got in trouble, and now they're being reprinted. But back then they were burning these suckers.
Yeah, you have that's the first original you see you have, right?
That's the very first one.
Yeah, be careful. It's a very slippery slope.
Yeah, I know. I'm already thinking about like some of the other crazier ones I want to buy.
Yeah,
because now I'm really into this. Like, not to go nuts, but it's one of those like, oh, I can just get whatever I want now.
Right.
You know, I'm a freaking adult. But that's it for me there. I picked up a lot of like oddball stuff, but I was so like in my own world.
Yeah. I
I've
picked up.
never been that beat up, and I'm just happy that the next show is going to be sold out, and we already have a commercial that's coming later today, and we have like 5 shows coming this month.
Yeah.
So if you're we're doing a lot. Everybody will see every week we do a show. So we have another week before we doing a show. We're doing a busy weekend. We're doing Royal LockCon, and then we're going to do Queen's Comic Party.
Right.
That's next week. But next week's episode, we'll deal with that. But what'd you get at this show?
So from the same vendor who had the Dave Stevens book and the Golden Age stuff you picked up, his name was Jeff, fellow Canadian. So shout out to Jeff for showing up and being awesome and having cool books. I got a couple of Silver Age Captain Atoms.
I was jealous of that one. I love those.
Yeah, Ditko all the way through on those. And then this is the other one I got, which is the second appearance of Ted Cord, the Blue Beetle. Not the first.
It's the first new costume for Captain Atom.
Yeah, but it's also the second Blue Beetle. So yeah, $5 each on those. Couldn't say no. From our buddy John at Heroes Reborn, he hooked me up with a really clean copy of the Heap #1. Nice. Which is a one and done. I don't think there was no Heap #2, but I love swamp monsters, so I had to have it. Oh, also from Jeff, I picked up the first issue of Nancy and Sluggo from 1949. I don't have it in front of me. It's way on the other side.
Oh, that's what I was trying to buy from them, and I couldn't figure out if you had it. We couldn't find you.
Yeah. No,
so I just waited until you came back.
I got that for $25. So I was happy to get that. Anyway, yeah, so I don't have the Nancy and Sluggo book in front of me, but I have it. You saw it. And then from Carl and I did some trading. I got that Futurama book for you. And then for myself, I got Johnny Quest with the Dave Stevens cover. I didn't have that one.
I definitely like that cover a lot.
I do too, yeah. And then I got the second printing of Best Buy Comics. I have a first printing, but this has a different cover, and I really like the cover. And I'm of the opinion that you can't have too much Robert Crumb. And then I got this really cool fanzine, Comic Culture, that has a really in-depth, lengthy interview with Tim Vigil. And exclusive Tim Vigil cover that, to the best of my knowledge, has not been reprinted anywhere else. So that was pretty neat. It's also got an interview with David Mack before he was a big deal. And then I posted a picture of that on Instagram, and David Quinn, who wrote Faust, was like, "Hey, I've never seen that." So later this week, I have to scan it for him, get him a digital copy of it, so that he can.
His book just came out as an omnibus, right?
Yeah, Faust just came out as an omnibus a few months ago.
Oh, they just had a bunch of signed copies of Forbidden Planet for sale right now.
Yeah, he did a signing there like a week ago.
Man, I gotta grab that book.
Yeah, it's an eye opener.
yeah, no joke.
Yeah, but then on Sunday I went to Midtown and then to Gotham and did some dollar bin diving. I didn't find any like major scores or anything, just some like run filler stuff. But I picked that up for you.
Thank you. I would have liked to be there. Sorry if I was being annoying.
Yeah,
like. I don't like going to Gotham by myself because then they want to talk to me.
Right. Yeah. We kind of like crossed paths in the opposite.
Yeah,
direction.
you walked. Yeah, because you passed my house to get there.
Then what else did I get? I got a couple issues of Uncle Scrooge with some Don Rosa covers.
That's excellent.
Yeah, and some Carl Barks art inside, some reprints. Yeah, that Uncle
nice.
Scrooge in space. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm excited to dig into these at some point.
I have to finish reading the Life and Times of Scrooge.
Yeah, me too. I started it and it's great, but I just so many hours in the day, you know.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and then
but I hope he comes to Terrificon again because I want to meet him.
Yeah,
and we're driving up there, right?
I don't know how we're getting there yet. We'll figure it out. It's a ways away yet. But to go from one extreme to the other, I also picked up a couple of Boneyard Press Dark Angel one shots, which are serial killer stories. They're gory and dumb. And then 3 issues of Rick Veitch's Max Immortal that I needed.
That is awesome.
It's a crazy cover.
Yo, that guy Rick Veitch is a very good writer.
He's great. I really like his stuff. So I now have the first 6 issues of the series. I need the last one. There is an issue 7 out there somewhere. So I got to track that down. I found this. I had never heard of this before. I did not know this existed. It's called Robert E. Howard, the Mythmaker. And it's some Conan stuff. Actually, I think it's non-Conan stuff that Howard was writing, but it's got art by John Bolton, Tim Sale, Richard Corben, and Kelly Jones. So as a Corben junkie, I had to pick that up.
I'm trying not to be a Tim Sale junkie now that he's gone, because his work is so good.
I like his stuff too. And then speaking of Corben, and I found this for $1, which Just Imagine Stan Lee's Sandman. This is when Stan Lee like re-envisioned DC characters. It's
Yeah.
terrible. It's awful.
No,
but it's
yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. It's some of the worst garbage I've ever seen in my life.
it's total junk. But there's 4 pages of Corben art in here.
Yeah, dude. The only reason we pick it up is because it's absurd.
Yeah, but I wanted
You
it.
know.
I wanted it for the Corben art. That's it. I'll
Yeah, the Batman, the Superman,
Yeah.
the Green Lantern, I think was one of them. I was like,
Yeah.
forget it.
Yeah. And then these were pretty cool for $1 a piece. The Conan, Dark Horse Conan Frazetta cover series.
Oh, did you ever read the Conans that from Kurt Busiek?
Kurt Busiek? No, I read Jason Aaron's run.
Yeah, but that's way later. You got to read the 2000 run of Kurt Busiek.
Oh, that was the Dark Horse stuff. Yeah, I read most of that. It's really good.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's some of it's reimagined old stuff because, like, I guess they stick to what's good, but it's well done.
Yeah,
I'm a big Kurt Busiek guy.
Yeah, I don't have the whole run, but I've got a good chunk of it.
I got the trades. I
Okay.
got it until Becky took over as the writer, and then I just kept all the trades up until after she done.
Got it. And then I found Jack the Lantern, which is another Tim Vigil book. I actually have this one, but this is a variant cover that I didn't have.
For $1?
Yeah, for $1. It's
Damn.
not especially valuable or anything. It's just it's a little hard to find.
It doesn't matter. It's just you can't find them in person.
That's it. If you see stuff that you're interested in and it's $1 and it's hard to find, scoop it up or you'll regret it. I make that mistake all the time.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we made that mistake with Frazetta.
Yeah. Anything Goes, which is an anthology from Fantagraphics. Frank Miller on the cover, and then you get Alan Moore and Donald Simpson on a story together, a Jack Kirby, Joe Sinnott reprint, an Art Spiegelman story, and a Sam Keith story. So that's not a fantastic pedigree. I don't know what is. And then Weird War Tales, working on this run. It's just a run filler, no significance to it. I do like the cover though. Skulls flying on horses in outer space is pretty cool.
That's nice.
A lot going on there. And then this is the second Munden's Bar annual. I did not know there was a second one. I have the first one.
I have that one.
Do you? Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got Eastman and Laird doing TMNT. It's got a Reed Waller Omaha the Cat Dancer story in it, and it's got a Milk and Cheese story in it.
Yeah.
So for $1, why not?
Of course.
And then more Vigil. I found his Avatar Kuda series, the first issue. This is the Gore variant cover.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's not his best work, but it's not bad. I would say actually some of the art is really solid. Like if you check out this page here with the killer monkey in it, that's pretty badass.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah. And then an issue of Lone Wolf and Cub that I needed, number 42.
Frank Miller cover or a different cover?
No, this is later in the run. That's actually a Mike Plug cover.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was Miller, then Sienkiewicz and Matt Wagner and Mike Plug towards the end.
Cool. I don't know Mike Bloom that much.
His Werewolf by Night stuff is great. His Frankenstein monster stuff is great. I think he did some ghostwriting stuff too. His Marvel 70s horror work is all really, really strong.
Fair.
And then I stopped at Midtown. I picked up my new books, and then in the new Rival section, they had a couple issues of the new Conan series that my buddy Jim Zub is writing. And so I grabbed those. So this one's a variant cover, sketch variant.
Wait, your friend?
Yeah, I remember we met Jim at NYCC, Jim Zub.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got confused between him and another guy for a second that had like some controversy this past week.
Okay.
The other guy wrote those books. That's a great cover.
Yeah, the cover art on these is really cool. There's a lot of really good variants for these. I'm not normally a sucker for variants, but these were cheap. And then that's the Liam Sharp variant for issue 5. Yeah, issue 5. Look at the detail on that is insane.
Liam Sharp is great, but like I don't know much of his work other than Green Lantern.
He's super underrated. He did Starhenge for Image last year or the year before. That was like a really high concept sci-fi. And I'm not going to lie, the story didn't really pull me in. I bought the first 2 issues. The story was building to something, but the pacing wasn't grabbing me. But the artwork is stunning, like absolutely gorgeous. So it's worth looking if you're into high concept sci-fi. You know, it's a book worth looking at.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna check it out. What was I gonna say to you? I was talking to Pop Fun to Play, the comic show we have on YouTube, and me and him were talking about collecting Frazetta books. and like you're into it, I'm not. I'm more of a person that like I collect what I like.
Yeah.
And you show me books like Ghost Rider, the cowboy story that Frazetta did the covers,
Uh-huh.
and they're phenomenal. He showed me like his inner sanctum. You know what I mean? Like all his
His
comics.
collection is insane.
Yeah, 100%. But then we started talking about Frank Miller, and I was like trying to make a point that like Frank Miller feels like the next guy you need to collect all this stuff because he does variant covers for random people. And I'm not talking about the new stuff from Marvel. I mean like a random Sin City cover or a random Next Men cover from the 90s, and they're very well done.
Yeah.
It just I feel like everybody's just waiting for him to go or something before they start collecting it. I'd rather just pick him up now because I love Frank Miller stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I definitely need a Frank Miller tattoo or something because his work is great. But like, I'm a huge Sin City fan. And I love the use of negative space. You know what I mean? And like, is there another artist that you would collect, but that's around now that maybe you should collect now before something happened? Because Richard Corben was 80 when he passed, and we didn't realize that. You know?
Yeah, Corben passed when he was in his 80s. Wrightson was in his early 70s, I think, when he passed. Mike Kaluta is still around. He's ridiculously talented and super underrated, and I think that he will have his day.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people out there who like his work, but like his work for DC on the Shadow in the 70s is great. And then in the 90s, Dark Horse brought him back when they had the Shadow license. So he did some Dark Horse work on the Shadow, like a couple of miniseries that are only like 2 or 3 issues each. You can find them in dollar bins. Some of the best work of his career. The line work in it is like on par with Frazetta, like in terms of like detail and like depth. The color work on it, I don't know who colored them, but the color work is really strong. Totally worth getting. Totally worth getting. So I think Mike Kaluta is super underrated. He's still working, still not a young man anymore, but still live in Manhattan. I'd love to get him out to a show someday. Crumb is still around.
Well, Crumb is in France, so
yes, but he's still around.
Yeah, we can visit him for Bastille Day, but we ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably not happening anytime soon, unless he comes back to New York to hang out or something. If he does, I'll buy him a beer. But yeah, I mean, Neil Adams is gone, Wrightson's gone, Corben's gone, Tim Sale's gone. Lost a lot of
Tim
good
Sale
people.
I collect, but Darwin Cook has passed. I loved all his work. My thing is right now, like I'm picking up a lot of Scott Collins' work.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who did the Flash. He did the Flash. He did a lot of like, what am I having a brain fart? Because the thing is, I love his work, like from that series alone, because that's when they created Professor Zoom and all that stuff that they later used for the movies. You know, so people know it like that. But what kills me is everybody's a big Scotty Young fan, and every time like Alex Ross or him do like multiple covers of something, like right now is the big Marvels where Scotty Young does a cover for every single Marvel book.
Pretty much.
I'm waiting for Big Apple Comic Con to see complete walls of those graded. You know, nothing special. They're just going to be sitting up there taking up space. You know what I mean?
I think Scotty Young's a really talented writer. My favorite thing that he's worked on was a miniseries he did for Image called The Me You Love in the Dark, which was about. Nice. Did you read it?
No. I never read it.
It's about I
Hate Fairyland.
A female artist who needs inspiration and needs like solitude and inspiration. So she moves in, she rents a house. The house turns out to be haunted, but the house is like an entity, and it falls in love with her.
I like that.
It goes from there, and it's like this weird, screwy gothic horror with this bizarre element of romance running through it. It's really well done. The characterization is really strong. I don't remember the name of the artist who did it. It wasn't Scotty Young doing the art. But the story's excellent. I could see somebody turning that into a movie and it turning out to be, I mean, it's perfect as a comic as it is, but like, it seems to me like that's something that like is ripe for adaptation.
I like, he did Middle West, right?
I'm not familiar with that one. I don't know.
I think like you would think I can look up everything while I'm here. Middle West was like, I think his miniseries where it's about a kid that's like, he's the son of the wind.
Uh-huh.
And he's trying to run away. And every time I meet somebody who's a big Scotty Young fan, I'm like, you got to read his other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just read one thing, or it just can't be Marvels or DC or variants. Like, right. He has I Hate Fairyland, and I think that one's great.
I read the first couple issues of that. That was pretty fun. I like that. I tend to like his writing better than his illustrations, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of his art style. I understand why people like it. Like it's definitely eye catching, but it's not really for me. But I do like him as a writer. Did you read Twig?
Yes, I thought Twig was great.
I
I
liked
just
it.
didn't like the variant watercolor covers.
No, those were Peach Momoko, weren't they?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Okay, I
Like,
liked them.
I feel bad that she has fallen off, and not because of her work, but because the fan base is toxic.
It's that, and I think that it's oversaturated right now. It's too much.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. But we could say the same thing about Jenny Frison, who does a
Yep.
million covers, but her work is like on point.
It is, but I feel like she's next.
What, to fall off?
Yeah. I
A
just think
billion
it's too
percent.
much. There's too much of it.
Well, you know what kills me is that my favorite artist right now is Maria Wolf. I talk about it in a lot of episodes
Yeah.
because I like her line work. I like all that stuff. But she's doing mostly covers. I haven't seen her do interiors because there's no space for interiors. Her stuff is too complicated.
Yeah.
Compared to because I read a recent Fantastic Four book, and that was some of the worst goddamn comics I've read in my life.
Yeah.
The artwork is so bad. It's very AI generated style. Like you could tell they're getting blander and blander.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to complain about Jim Calafiore. Fiore, I forget his name. I'm a big fan of Exiles. I love the book in there. He's not the writer, he's the artist, but they're very bland. But I liked it because I could recognize his work,
Okay.
and I liked the books because the storyline it was great and it would just fit. I felt like he's bland. If they're blander than that, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Comic books should be vibrant and look cartoony and have fun. And it's starting to become no more stylization.
Right.
Everything has to look the same. And I'm starting to see that in a lot of X-Men books, a lot of X-Men, Marauders, all this stuff. The covers look phenomenal. Then you open it up, you're like, oh.
Right.
You know, you're like, come on, interiors. I just feel like that's leading to a way that there's going to be less good artists out there.
Have you been reading Ultimate X-Men?
No, isn't that Peach from Oko's run?
That's Peach doing the writing, the covers, and the interiors. I'm really digging it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take a look because I bought #1, but I haven't even read the Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man #1 yet.
It seems to be taking place in its own universe, like even apart
Well,
from
the
the
Ultimate
universe. Like it's not crossing over with Spider-Man or Black Panther or the Ultimates or any of that stuff. And I think it works better that way. It's Marvel, so it'll probably have to cross over at some point. But like right now, it's all self-contained. You don't need to read any other title to know what's going on in this. And it takes place at a girls' high school, and a new student shows up. And I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil it because there's some really cool surprises. But it's very definitely a mutant story, and it's in line with X-Men stories of the past in a lot of ways. But Peach's style is, very much her own, and she brings a lot of Japanese culture to it, which I think sets it apart and which makes it just kind of it's interesting, it's unique, and maybe in a lot of ways, like you could say, oh, this is geared towards teenage girls, and maybe it is in a way, but there's enough bizarre darkness and horror elements woven into it that, like, as a guy who's pushing 50, I find it really interesting and compelling reading, and I like the art.
I'll check it out then because I trust you. I just wish that people who followed her bought that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not everything should be just a variant cover. Enjoy the book.
Well, it's
For the love
proving
of
that she
God,
can
enjoy the
write.
book. That's excellent.
She
I'll
did
check it
those.
out.
She did those Demon Days one shots that were in the X-Men universe, where they were like reimagined as yokai monsters, and it dealt with, like, traditional Japanese folklore and kind of integrated the X-Men into that. And I enjoyed most of those, but this is ongoing. So I mean, it's what, on issue 4, I think, is the one that just came out, and she's weaving a pretty solid narrative. So I don't know, like, if in Japan, if she did a lot of writing and stuff before she got she had her work brought over to the US or not, but she can do it. She's telling a good story. So
I'll
kudos
check
to
it
her
out.
for that.
Are you gonna pick up the new EC comics coming out?
Yes.
Yeah, I already got the posters. Do you want one?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
I gotta go pick them up tomorrow.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
There's some
Hopefully
good
it's
people.
good.
There's some really good people involved in it, and that gives me faith. They've got new hosts, which I don't know how I feel about that. Part of me is like, okay, good. They're not, pulling out these characters that existed 70 years ago and bringing them back. They're bringing in new hosts, but part of me wants to see the old host back. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about all of it.
Fair enough, but that's a good feeling to have when you go into comics. We're lucky to have so many comic book stores to pick up all this stuff.
Yeah.
What's another book you're waiting for this week coming out? Because I was looking at pre-orders, and there's an artist I think named Dan Panosian that's doing a Midtown variant for Ninja Turtles.
Oh, I saw
But
that.
they
That's
won't-
the one with April in a very tight outfit.
Yeah, are you ordering that?
Am I ordering that variant? No. Will I pick up the first issue to check it out? Yes.
No, I'm gonna pick it up no matter what, Jason Aaron.
Yeah.
Just I want that variant, but I'm having a problem pre-ordering from the damn website.
I don't want to pay $30 for a variant.
It's $20, but it's all right.
Okay. I'll wait for a half.
I know.
Stuff.
I feel like I'm for all the shit talking I do about variants, I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So is there any shows or anything coming up that you want to go over? Like, have you watched anything comic book related? Because I know a lot of people are excited for the Wolverine Deadpool movie, and I'm just waiting for it.
I'll check it out when it hits streaming. I don't know if I'll go to the theater for it or not. I'm
going to the theater because I heard that Blade's in the film. Wesley Snipes.
Yes, I'm interested in that aspect of it. It'll
And he's not a cameo.
We got a minute.
Oh wow, time flies.
It does.
Well, thanks for everybody coming out to the show. I'm Billy Bombs on the Queen's Comic Podcast.
I'm Ian, and we will
We'll
talk to
see
you
you
later.
next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Queen's Comic Podcast.